According to a new study, something was observing nuclear tests from space before the satellite era. An international team of scientists led by astrophysicist Beatriz Villarruel of the Nordic Institute for Theoretical Physics published a discovery in Scientific Reports. A study with findings that she says has gone to give her ontological shock, meaning the profound sense of disorientation and existential distress that arises when a person's fundamental understanding of reality is challenged or shattered. After analyzing more than 100,000 astronomical photographs taken between 1949 and 1957, researchers identified a series of anomalous flashes of light known as transients. The images show that some of the light appear in one photo, but not in the next one. They were taken at set interval periods of time. A star will appear in the next photo, but a moving light won't. The flashes displayed a highly reflective, mirror-like glow, and some displayed apparent rotation. Most notably, all the images analyzed predate 1957, the year humans placed their first satellite into orbit. The team ruled out natural causes and optical failures, noting that if the recordings are authentic, the objects would have to be non-human artificial structures. The flashes increased by 45% around one particular event in history, the first atmospheric nuclear detonations. Something was already here, already watching, already circling, and it only reacted when we showed it what we were capable of destroying. As groundbreaking as this peer-reviewed study is, it is not an isolated anomaly. Whispers of unidentified craft near humanity's most destructive creations have haunted our nuclear history for decades. Men sworn to protect our most devastating weapons, the guardians of our nuclear arsenal, speak in hushed, trembling voices. They describe silent craft hovering over missile silos, unknown lights disabling launch systems, technology that dwarfs anything human hands have ever built. And every witness says the same chilling thing. They were watching us. They were inspecting our weapons. And they were not human.
Officers had been on alert in their underground launch control capsules when they received telephone calls from their security guards at ground level, saying that they were observing one or more unidentified, disc-shaped craft maneuvering in the sky. Seconds later, as many as 10 ICBMs suddenly shut down, according to warning lights on the officers' missile readiness consoles, meaning that they could not have been launched if the President of the United States had, at that moment, ordered a nuclear attack on America's adversaries. These witnesses say that their superiors ordered them to keep quiet about the incidents, and in some cases, required them to sign non-disclosure statements which stipulated severe legal penalties for anyone who violated secrecy. As a result of the harsh security measures imposed upon them, Many of these Air Force veterans waited decades before discussing the nearly unbelievable and highly disturbing incidents they had observed. Nevertheless, a number of them have finally stepped forward to reveal the truth. On September 27, 2010, a leading UFO researcher, Robert Hastings, and a former Minuteman missile launch officer, Robert Salas, co-sponsored the UFOs and Nukes press conference in Washington, D.C., in an effort to bring the facts to the public. The event was widely covered by the media, not only in the United States, but around the world. CNN streamed it live, and other major news organizations published stories about it later the same day.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Salas. In 1967, I was a first lieutenant stationed at Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana. I was a missile launch officer. Sometime in the evening hours on March 24th, I received a call from one of my topside guards, the flight security controller, stating that they had been observing strange lights in the sky making odd maneuvers. He called back about 5 minutes later. This time he was screaming into the phone saying they're looking at a red glowing object hovering just above our front gate. Our missiles began going into what's called a no-go condition or unlaunchable. Essentially they were disabled while this object was still hovering over our site.
Back in 1967, I was officer in charge of the communications center at the 28th Air Division in Great Falls, Montana. In March of that particular year, I can clearly recall a message coming through my communications center which basically said that a UFO did in fact shut down several missile silos in Montana.
Robert Hastings has devoted 40 years to seeking out and interviewing U.S. military veterans regarding their UFO experiences at missile sites and other nuclear weapons facilities. His book, UFOs and Nukes, contains the testimony of more than 100 of those individuals.
Declassified U.S. government documents and witness testimony from former or retired U.S. military personnel confirm beyond any doubt the reality of ongoing UFO incursions at nuclear weapons sites.
I was the Minuteman III Combat Crew Commander at F.E. Warren Air Force Base, Wyoming. In 1976, my deputy Bill and I were on alert. We contacted our FSC, our flight security controller, and asked him, was there something wrong? And he said right above him was a big white object that was cigar-shaped, 80 to 100 feet above him, 40 to 50 feet long. I said, okay, keep me abreast of what's happening. So we were talking for a while, stayed there for, I don't know, a minute and a half, and it slowly and very silently moved along the access road. When we came up the next morning, the FSC was in his chair in a fetal position, and we talked to him and tried to calm him down. We couldn't calm him down. We were called in by the squadron commander again, and he took whatever notes my deputy made, tore them up. So this didn't happen, it's top secret, and made us sign something.
Significantly, dramatic UFO incidents were also occurring at nuclear missile facilities in the former Soviet Union, including cases where the weapons suddenly malfunctioned. Documents obtained in Russia by Western journalists in the 1990s, as well as on-the-record statements by Soviet Army veterans, summarize the unsettling events in great detail. These revelations make clear that both American and Soviet nuclear missiles were subjected to ongoing surveillance and, from time to time, deliberate tampering by whoever was piloting the UFOs during the long, tense confrontation known as the Cold War. Had that anxious standoff between capitalism and communism suddenly become a hot nuclear war, hundreds of millions of people would have been killed outright, and a great many more, perhaps 1 to 2 billion worldwide, would have died over time, the result of radiation illness, exposure, and mass starvation. Indeed, a great many species and ecosystems on Earth would have been devastated by such a war. But what were the mysterious missile disruptions, as described by American and Soviet military veterans, meant to convey? Were they a demonstration of the unknown observer's ability to interfere with these weapons at will? If so, would they have openly intervened to try to prevent a nuclear exchange from occurring if hostilities seemed imminent? To state the obvious, the answers to these questions remain elusive, even now. But if all of this is true, what exactly is going on? Who or what is piloting the amazing aerial craft we call UFOs? And why do they seemingly have an intense interest in monitoring and sometimes disrupting our nuclear weapons systems?